欢迎来到 Mandarin Tune-Up， 我是 Stephanie. Today we're going to troubleshoot your second tone. Many learners are told that the second tone is like a question, as in what, no, right? And that actually works for about the first few weeks. But if that is your only guide, you will run into problems very quickly. That is because you're associating the tone with an emotion or an intention, not with the actual sound. In English, questions can rise, fall, or stay flat. Let me give you an example here. As a native Chinese speaker, I hear people asking why in English in 3 different tones. When they say why, it falls and sounds like a fourth tone. The suspicious why does sound like a second tone, but when the word why is used in a sentence like why is it so hard, the why here actually stays flat and sounds like a first tone to me. So you can see how unreliable this approach can be. To master the second tone, you need to understand it on its own terms and train your ears to hear it correctly. Let's take a look at what the second tone really is. Here is the tone chart with your voice range divided into 5 levels, from low to high. The second tone starts in the middle and rises to the top. But here's the key question. Where exactly should you start and end? If I could only give you one piece of advice about a second tone, I'll say start lower. That's it. If your second tone sounds like a first tone, which is very common, it's probably because you started too high. When you start too high, there's nowhere to go. Even if you can push it a little higher, native speakers will still hear it as a flat tone. So start lower and save your voice. If your second tone sounds like a fourth tone, the issue is similar. You're starting too high, then unconsciously dropping your pitch. To fix that, again, start lower, but also try slowing it down just a bit for practice. Give yourself that extra time to feel the rise. I know what you're thinking right now. If I started too low, wouldn't it sound like a third tone instead? The short answer is no. First, the third tone is actually lower than you think. Second, in actual speech, most of the time, the third tone doesn't even bounce back. It stays low. We'll talk about that more in our next video. But if your second tone really sounds like a third tone, then here's my tip. Relax your throat, slow down a little, and give your second tone a gentle lift. Nice and easy, like in this word, 和平. Let's practice hearing and pronouncing the second tone. First, let's hear it next to a neutral tone, a short, light, toneless sound that's a little bit lower than the end of a second tone. Repeat after me. 桃子10个桃子拿着10个桃子一个孩子拿着10个桃子 Can you hear the rising second tones? Now try this one, where second tones come right next to first tones. Repeat after me. 喝茶先来喝茶回家前先来喝茶明天回家前先来喝茶 Can you hear how the second tone starts lower than the first? Let's take it up a level and build a sentence with second tones only. 德文学习德文来学习德文谁没来学习德文 For those of you who have trouble hearing the second tone, try these minimal pairs to train your ear. 其实满足学习 You can find more minimal pairs, audio clips, quizzes, and PDFs on my website. In our next video, we will work on everyone's nightmare, the third tone. It's actually not that scary. Keep practicing and stay tuned. 我们下次见了，拜拜。